Sorry, I forgot to record. I'm going to show you the answers real fast. I'm not talking to you. Sorry, I'm talking to the video people. Take a screenshot. Here's your answers. Go back and work them out.
Hello, future me, past Chris. Everybody say
Bummer.
hi.
Sorry, I didn't record. My bad. Okay. I am recording still, yes.
Awesome.
All right, so number 6, it says for the equation y equals 1/16 x squared, find the following. When your equation looks like this, what is your vertex? 0, 0, right? If it doesn't have any of the fancy stuff behind your x and nothing else back behind here, your vertex is 0, 0. Your focus, if you recall, you can come back up here and see this, but I think you can probably work it out without. When it's y equals something x squared, your focus is 0c. So if you think of this, this is your a value, and we know a equals 1 over 4 times c. Because a is 1/16, we're going to say 1 over 16 equals 1 over 4c. And then you can cross multiply it, or if you can just see it right now, most people look at this and they go, well, I know it has to be 16. 4 times 4 is 16, so c is 4. So you can do it either way. Cross multiply, you get this, or just visually look at it. Either way, c is going to be 4, okay? So my focus, is that going to be 4, 0 or 0, 4? 0, 4. If you need to see it, right, we know this is going to open up. So the focus is not going to be 4, 0 over here. It's going to be 0, 4 right there. Where would the directrix fall?
Below that.
Below. Sorry, this should have been through 0, 0. I didn't draw that well. So if it's 4 above right now, you're going to go 4 below. That's a y equals. So y equals -4 is your directrix.
You only do the arrow one way. Bothering me. I appreciate that.
No problem. All right, last one of the parabolas, and then we will move on to circles. So this one says identify the vertex. First of all, when it's x equals, this one's opening left or right. Is this one opening left or right?
Left.
Left. Why? Because you have a negative a value, right? So we don't know where exactly, but we know it's going to the left, okay? Not there, because we need to find our vertex. So the vertex, if you think about this general form, it's x equals a times y minus k squared. Oops, that's a 2. Plus h. Okay, well now let's compare. If I'm looking for my vertex, I'm looking for hk. Who can tell me what my h value is? What?
H is -25.
-25, right? If it's plus h and it's minus 25, that is a -25 for your h value. What's your k value? It's plus 14, which is basically saying y minus -14, right? So that's a -14. So when it says identify the vertex, just be really careful with positives and negatives, and be really careful with if it's x equals, your k comes before your h. If it's y equals, your h comes before your k. Okay? Yeah.
You're just recording your voice, right?
Well, and the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Both. Good on that? Okay. Do you want like a minute break before we
No.
move on to circles?
No, I'm not a coward.
Quit calling people names. Coward is not
I'm
kind.
not
It doesn't make someone a
calling
coward
people
to want to
names.
break.
I'm lazy. I'm calling myself not names.
Oh, wow. It's implied names. Raise your hand if you want a minute. And
Not raise.
don't worry about Chris, because his opinion doesn't matter on this. Raise your hand if you don't want a minute. So 3 to 2 then?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Circles. So here's the deal with circles. Yes, you could memorize 2 formulas, But really, if you just memorize this one, it will work for any type of circle. You can plug in a 0, 0, and it will simplify to this one. So you don't need to memorize both. If you want to just memorize the fancy one, that's great. It will work every time, okay? So this one says for x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 49, what is the center and what is the radius? So what is your center going to be here? What's your h value? -2. It's always opposite of what it looks like. So -2, and then what's your k value? 3. Okay, so that's your center. What's your radius? 7. This is the radius squared. So if r squared is 49, we take the square root, and the radius is going to be 7. Okay. Number 9, write the equation for a circle with a center at HK, -3, 7, and a radius of 5. Okay, now the general formula, right, we're just going to plug into this. So it's going to be x minus a -3, so x plus 3 squared, plus y minus 7 squared equals what? 25, the radius squared. So that'll be your equation. Okay. What do you do with number 10? It says it's translated 4 units right and 7 units down. What's your new center? 4 and right. A -7 is your setup. So when you plug that into the formula, this is h, this is k. So it's going to be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 7 minus a -7 squared equals what? 225, right? That doesn't change. We just shifted it. We didn't make it a bigger or smaller circle. So the radius isn't going to change, which means the radius squared isn't going to change. So this should be your new equation. Okay. Okay, number 11 is probably, yeah.
Is the radius for that one 15?
Yes,
Yeah.
radius would be 15. 11 is probably the hardest problem just because there's multiple steps to it, and then you have to like remove things to give your final answer. So I'm going to talk you through. You have a center of 2, 3, and a point that it goes through of 6, 12. That point is your xy, but if I were you, here's what I would do. I would write my final answer. Like, I know my answer is going to be x minus my h value squared plus y minus my k value squared equals my radius squared. Okay? So my final answer is going to look like this. I just need to know what goes there. How do I find what goes in r squared's place?
Plug in the x and y.
Yes. So we're going to take these numbers and drop them in here and here. So it's going to be, I'm going to take these away. So 6 minus 2 squared plus 12 minus 3 squared equals the radius squared. So the radius squared is 4 squared, or 16, plus 9 squared, or 81. So that makes the radius squared 97. Now, you don't square root that, right? We want r squared in our final answer. So just leave it as 97. Don't square root it and then try to square it again. Then you get an ugly decimal. We don't want that, okay? So just leave it like that. Questions on that at all? Okay, last one. This one says graph x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 16. What are the two things you have to find to be able to graph it? The radius and the center, right? Damon, wake up. So what is the center here? positive 3. What's this?
-2.
-2. Yep, so 3, -2 is the center. What's your radius?
4.
4. It's the square root. The r squared is 16, right? So take the square root and you get 4. Okay, so you plot it. 3, -2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Here's your center. How do you make a circle from here? You just do. 4 points, right? Go up, go left, go down, go right. So up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, puts me here. Left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, puts me there. Down puts me here. And then to the right puts me there. And then you just freehand as best you can a lovely circle. Mine is a little choppy. And that's your circle. Any questions on that? Okay, I'm just going to go back for anyone that's watching the video to these 4, if you need to take a look at any of it.
Pretty sure we
Or
did
5.
Yeah.
5, these 5. Yeah, that is all. So your homework is bookwork, but it's just a mid-chapter quiz. You're just doing a few of those mid-chapter quiz problems that will look like the quiz problems you're going to do on the quiz tomorrow.